Good afternoon, VV Nation. Happy Thursday, everybody. I see the comments in the section, the people making their way into the room. I know the alert just hit, so we'll be patient for everyone else. See here, we got Vic, Bill, Mikesh, Jake, Mark, Brooklyn in the house. All right, Bill says Palantir, Flirts, Smirts. What is on that trend line? It's still right at the cusp of that ascending channel. Not much buying pressure there. We will take a look at it. But we're going to give everyone just a movement to make their way into the room. If you can hear me, if you can see me, just put a VV in the comments section. We got Joey in the background, everybody. I know Clay's got to be happy. He got into TLRY last week. I saw TLRY was up again, it looked like today, at least earlier when I looked. All right, everybody. We got Janice. Hit that like button. You know what it is. If you want your stocks analyzed, you got to hit the like button. For every 10 likes, we will break down your stock pick at the end of the session. As we take a look at the major indices, a little bit of positive territory there, right? Not much optimism from Nvidia's earnings call. But everything is in positive territory as far as those. VectorVest composite as well. The broad market, a little optimism there for the bulls today. As far as the Midas touch, as far as some of the top momentum stocks, you can see mostly winners there. The only one down today, gold, taking a little bit of a hit. See down 2% there. Gold feels. Some of the other plays, that Frequency Electronics, FEIM, great momentum stock, up another 2% today. PPIH, which I've done some videos about in the past, 3.67% here. Retail pulling back a little bit today. But do we notice that MTI creeping its way up? One thing I do like about the MTI, again, this is proprietary market timing indicator here. Look at the prior swing high, 1.34. We just surpassed that at 1.37. In my opinion, you see the color guard there, mildly bullish. That means we got one green light in the color guard. I see that upside potential. Again, MTI historically gets a little top heavy around 1.5, 1.6. Doesn't mean the rally is over. Just means you can expect a little chop. Or the market's looking for a top at that point. So yeah, it looks good as far as the market perspective. Now let's take a look at a couple news stories here. What's driving the market? Here we go. Oh, that's the one that shrunk. All right, first of all, we're going to talk about some economic news that came out today. The GDP data came in, the revision, right? Came in at 3% here. The Dow Jones estimates was 3.1%, but look, came in at 3.3, right? Growth even stronger than initially thought. That's probably not a good data point for the interest rate cut individuals. Tomorrow's PCE data. That'll definitely give some insight what the Fed might do next month. All right. Apple is the play today, making 3K, 10 calls in the open. Apple's got some momentum. Interesting. Ruben says, what's up, guys? Ruben, hit that like button. Yes, if you want your stocks broken down, hit that like button. I see the likes making its way up a little bit. I like that here. We've got about 3 stocks under the belt as far as the likes are concerned. And I did have a story tying into Apple here in just a few, so you might want to stick around. It's a pretty interesting story, especially for another stock here. Can we trust that number? Well, this is the revision, but even I'd like to say we can trust it, Fox. As of right now, I guess we got to trust it, right? Until something else tells us otherwise. Here's the economic calendar. Like I was saying, Thursday, that's going to be the big thing today, really just the GDP revisions. We had initial jobless claims as well, came in at 234 here. Tomorrow, PCE data, right? Inflation data is going to be, critical for what the decision the Federal Reserve makes and Jerome Powell. As far as next week, just something to keep in mind. We do got job openings next week, next Wednesday, next Thursday, initial jobless claims. U.S. unemployment next Friday, so not the craziest week. We got a couple, very important data points coming out. Looks like employment Thursday and Friday, so just keep that in mind. And then, tomorrow is really the big one, the inflation data. Inflation data. Hi, Ryan. Got out of UAMY 64%. Boy, and then you moved into AERC. Boy, man, Maria, I am happy. Everybody give Maria an applause. Me personally, Maria, that's exactly what I would have done. As soon as UAMY overstretch, whatever kind of price target you'd put in place there. I mean, UAMY made a lot of people a lot of money. Hopefully it made you some money along the way. AREC, I'll take a look at the chart today. Maria's AREC up today? It probably is if you're happy you've gotten into it in the comment section, right? But give a round of applause. That was a smart move when it comes to the rare earth critical mineral plays that we talk about a lot on the channel here. So hopefully that's making you guys some money in the term. So earnings, that's the next thing I want to talk about here. We're going to back up a little bit. Well, actually, while we're here, next week earnings. This is what I want you to look out for. See, your Tuesday wasn't my... Oh, Nibius, not confirmed yet. We'll see, but Neo is next week. Academy Sports, Outdoors, Dick's is after the bell today. Keep that in mind. So if you're holding those type of retailers here, big box stores, definitely pay attention to what happens to those two earnings. Next Wednesday, Salesforce. We got Figma, Hewlett-Packard, Dollar Tree. Well, you got Credo as well. Some big names coming in. Thursday, I think about it, this is the second largest semiconductor company by market cap. Well, TSM as well. Broadcom next Thursday. We'll see what happens. Other big companies here, Lululemon. If you did any bottom fishing there, obviously that's going to affect your IoT. Samsara. I'm kind of curious what IoT's been doing. Haven't talked about them in a while. We had DocuSign. Friday, ABM. All right, so let's look at this week. Give you a little heads up what's going on next week. Again, Wednesday, Thursday. That's going to probably be the volatility there, the biggest one. Being Broadcom. Now, yesterday after the bell, we had big earnings, right? We're going to cover them. And we got Nvidia, CrowdStrike, Snowflake. I got them in the list. We're going to take a look, see how they are responding today. One thing I found interesting about Nvidia, did anyone notice? Because I was talking about yesterday around 171, 172. Nvidia, right after the bell, right after the earnings came out, that drop, right at that trend level, right where I was talking about. I think it got as low as 173, but the buyers came in. And I think Nvidia's to the upside right now. It's pretty flat, but we'll take a look, see where Nvidia's at the moment. Come tomorrow. Again, Canadian banks this week. Toronto Dominion Bank. I do got that in the list as well today. Dell Technologies. Canadian Imperial Bank. I don't think I put that one on the list. Marvel Technologies in the list here. I did put Dollar General. I know that's been a little bit of a momentum play off and on this year. And we've got Ulta and Lee, Dick. So a lot of big names after the bell today. Big weekend earnings, Next week's another big week. I think after that, to cool down a little bit as far as earnings. A lot of pretty much as far as the big tech earnings, definitely cool down after Broadcom and the bunch next week. Here we go. We got Nvidia's earnings takeaways. A full steam AI spending, but China uncertainty remains. Exactly what I talked about in the video. Still bullish on Nvidia, but China's a threat in many ways. In many ways, this. And look, the market could be a $50 billion opportunity for Nvidia. But I've also said that, the hyperscalers kind of filling that void, right? So we shall see how that plays. Janice is making $2,500 every other day. I want to be like Janice. Tabula, why you put her business out like that? IREN today? Yes, actually, I do want to look at IREN. And Alfreda, remind me about that one. IREN, that stock I've talked about before, that one will be on me. We'll do that as an honorable mention. Should wait for bigger Nvidia dip to re-up or go now? We'll take a look at the chart. Depends how much Nvidia you want. If you got the patience, I don't think this is going to be the best price. Let's say over the next 3 months, I do think there'll be a low. Probably not much lower. We'll take a look at the chart, see what kind of levels I will. Thank you, Alfreda. As you know, my memory's not the best when I get sidetracked, right? You guys normally sidetrack me. All right, here's this is just, I don't have a stock launch for this, but this is a video thinking about doing in the near future, the return of the nuclear battery. As I was reading this article, there's two things I've been studying a lot lately here. I'm going to put some stocks out here in the near future. Deep sea mining operations, deep sea exploration operations, as well moon or celestial body operation, because we're talking about other things. But the moon's going to be the first stop, obviously. There's a lot of interesting elements, especially on the moon. Helium 3 is a big one, in case you don't know what that is. kind of like uranium, but a lot safer, a lot less radiation. It's utilized for nuclear fission. But anyway, I just want to put this on your radar. Very interesting article here. Nuclear batteries generate electricity from radioactive decay and last for decades. A new wave of startups here. I know China is big into this one right now. Potential applications include powering remote environments like the Arctic ocean floor, lunar missions, as well as consumer devices. Nuclear, that should be... Oh, Bill, I don't see that in the car EV, or at least consumer EV. But I'm thinking more deep sea applications or space applications. Nuclear shrimp warming battery. I had a feeling the nuclear shrimp would make its way back. I haven't been here much lately, but Ryan, you're doing an awesome job. Any update on Glenn? Oh, I always appreciate when you guys ask about Glenn. If you don't know yet, just go to vectorvest.com/Glenn. There's a GoFundMe link there. By all means, you can help. If you can't, there's updates there. That's directly. His wife's doing an excellent job keeping everyone updated. As far as I know, he's back home. He's still got the physical recovery, just working on his strength. I don't have a timetable as far as coming back or whatnot. But I am going to see him Saturday. This will be the first time I've seen him probably in a week or a couple weeks. So I'm excited about seeing him Saturday, and I'll give you guys an update next week. So, but yeah, let's see here. Commercial favors. So it looks like this was a thing back in the past. So it's not like new technology. Governmental unease about radioactive isotopes walking out into the world untracked and unreturned. So again, nuclear energy should be interesting, but I do see it as for very specific purposes. TLRY comes out with some left field plays at times. I need to be more trusting and just copy trade. It's all about your own risk tolerance. And typically when I come out with videos, I try to do some conservative or value picks, maybe some momentum. Try to give a mix here. Not everyone's got the same ideas, or not everyone's traders versus investing mentality. Alberta government is looking to build a 4,800 megawatt nuclear reactor and looking into adding SMR, small modular reactors. We've done videos on that before. A lot of those stocks, they come and go with momentum, especially the uranium plays as well. So just, maybe we should do another one of that. But I think that battery play will be interesting. Now, here's an article I thought was interesting. MP Materials. Remember, I did the video. Was it AREC? I mentioned MP. The valuation with MP, right? MP is just crazy, and that's one of the things here. Look, they remain bullish on MP, but look, valuation is rich, right? That's what my concern was. Hopefully, I got UNMP. Well, I started talking about that, last fall initially. A lot better deal. Then I started adding the likes of UAMY. I was kind of switching to that one. And then now this AREC, but they just look better from a valuation perspective. But this is important, though. Look at this right here. Not just the government, but big companies. This is Mag 7. Apple deal. I told you I was going to talk about Apple deal is positive, but not central to my bull case, as revenue from its deal will only tick up in 2027. So a lot of that premium, a lot of that move to the upside already kind of baked into the price, right? So, look at the chart, trust the chart. But I wouldn't, I'm not going to say it can't keep going up, but the valuation is rich right now. Department of Defense, back 10-year price floor. They did the same thing with UAMY as well. So again, big mega cap companies, big DOD projects. This company, along with the other rare earths, critical mineral companies I've been mentioning on the channel. Great space to be. Say it's $73 right now, up 3% here. I like the stock. I cannot lie. And it's got a lot of good news around it. But again, there's some other stocks in the space. If you're thinking more of investing purposes, have some patience. Tabula says, praying that Glenn will be back for Vegas. Let's go. Wouldn't be a bad thing. I'd love to have Glenn out there with me. I'm not going to get my hopes up, but it would be an awesome thing if Glenn was able to do so. Maria says, I was contemplating him back into UAMY, but I don't feel comfortable with valuation. What do you think? Swing it? Well, Maria, you just sold it for a big profit, right? Now you're in the AREC. let's not rush into it. We'll take a look at the chart. In just a few, but let's not rush back into it. Oh, this is another one, CoreWeave. CoreWeave I like. I've talked about that before. I did a video on a couple weeks ago as well. I like CoreWeave. Nvidia down, CoreWeave up 8%. I like the software plays right now. I think the semiconductors, that momentum that we've seen, like I said, TSM, the Taiwan Semi, the main manufacturer, broke that ascending channel. It was the first one to do it, kind of giving me some guidance into the future. Nvidia moving to the side, AMD moving to the side. I like the software space right now. I'm not going to say, go out there and sell all your semiconductors by any means, but don't ignore the software. I think the industry rotation, I like the industry rotation here. Like $116 price target here, up 8%. Strong execution, AI market, rapid growth. We all know about it. Let's see here. Cantor's highlight Nvidia's view of a $1 trillion installed base for accelerated computing and a similar opportunity in AI factories, areas where CoreWeave may carve out a long-term role, right? And Nvidia holds a big stake in CoreWeave. So, that's a great partnership there. I like the pathway they're setting for investors. Easy to get investors enthused with that kind of path, right? Now, here's an interesting story. Nike laying off about 1% of corporate staff in its latest effort to refocus the business, right? I'm going to be straight up with you. I think this is tariff related. I think they, price elasticity, if you know what that is, it's the variation or the correlation between price fluctuation and consumer demand. But I'm going to say this is probably an effect from the tariffs here. Probably do some cost cutting so that way I don't have to raise some prices. But Nike, another round of layoffs. We'll take a look at the stock. I haven't looked at Nike in a while, so I'm just kind of curious if there's any opportunities when it comes to Nike. But if you look like on cloud, their stock's been rocking or rolling. A lot of competitors have stepped up to Nike. Recently, some new blood in the space as well, putting pressure on the Nike stock. Now, here's a stock that's been rallying. Sharon says, Ryan, based on the chart, would it be a good trailing percent for what would be a good trailing percent for AREC? Well, Sharon, that's good. I'll show you how I would kind of calculate that, right? I'll show you how I would calculate that. Kind of give you a rough estimate. I would use this calculation that I'll show you here in just a minute in conjunction with your own personal risk, and objective things of that nature, meet somewhere in the middle, right? But yeah, this one, Pure Storage, stocks more than 30%. Meta deal boosters results. Look at the stock, up 31%, $18 here. Pure Storage was headed for a record close. It's a data storage management company. Again, Meta, one of the top buyers of Nvidia's chips. Well, they got to have a place to store the data. You can see the partnership making PSTG a lot of money here. And the reason why this stock caught my interest was I looked at the valuation of the VectorVest 7 software. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the software here. Oh, wait. There we go. Do you change your trailing stop if it is a leverage position? Alex, again, ideally, if you're leveraged 2 or 3 times leverage, yes, you're going to have to give it more wiggle room, right? But you got to ask yourself, do you got the risk tolerance, and does the trade make sense to give it 2 or 3 times more space? I'm not, just because I've got a 10%, does that mean I'm comfortable giving it a 30% trail, right? So keep that in mind. All right, so let's go to viewers tab here. These are the stocks for earnings. A lot of big names here. Lots of big names. Actually, let's do this now. See, here's AREC. All right, if you're holding AREC, look at this. Rejection top line, upper wick, follow through today. That is what I'm looking at right now. I need it to hold at 195, but I'm not going to be a buyer of it today necessarily. Not with this type of rejection here. So be careful of AREC as of right now. That's kind of my 2 cents. But if you're looking for a trail, hey, look at this. Add parameter. Where is there? Technical analysis. I'm going to use an average true range. I got a 14-day average true range. It's 28 cents, right? 28 cents, $2 stock. What is that, about 14% stop, right? 14% stop. So average true range is nice because it gives you a sense of volatility, right? Because if you're in a high volatile stock and you just use a standard 5 or 10% stop, you can just get blown out of it, right? So average true range is a good sense. Looks at volatility. But this one here is 28 cents. Let's see here. Can you look at value? Yes, value here. Whoa, what happened to value? 14 cents. That might have to do something with forecasted data. Let's give it a day or two here. Let's see what that forecasted data is, but let's give that a day or two. But yeah, that's a huge drop in value here. Yeah, that sign. But from a more technical perspective, just looking at this one, you could see the retest on this trend line here. I mean, it matched up perfectly, the upper wick. I was looking at it yesterday, actually, when it broke above, because I said, hey, either we're going to get a big upper wick here and most likely some follow through with some rejection to the downside, or if we did get a clear and we close that session highs, this thing was probably about to go parabolic for a few days, right? But that was not the case for the bulls. Unfortunately, it looks like the bears trying to take in. I'm still looking at 195. See here, I was up 30% in AREC, now down to 20%. It's still in the fast lane, so debating whether to stay in. Actually, let's take a look at the fast lane. We got a little more wiggle room, and the fast lane's coming up to that 95-cent range. Let's see here, the upper Bollinger Band, around 190. So yeah, 190, 195, somewhere in there, definitely would be protecting profits, right? Alfredo might have to sell AREC. I love the stock, but yeah, if I helped you and you're up 20, 30%, a couple days kind of thing, why not take those profits and say, hey, maybe get back in at a later date? Again, I'm not a financial advisor. You're watching this for entertainment purposes. So that's just my 2 cents, but just, hey, keep that $1.90, $1.95 on your radar. The average true range, though, again, is 28 cents. That's about 14% trail, right? Or 14% stop. So just be careful of that. Usually if AI get a down signal early, maybe just may just exit. Can always re-enter later if you get good signs again. Yeah, Michael, I'm thinking a good, this could be a good re-entry one. But if you're up in it, hey, protect those profits. Protect those profits. Had a 3/4 bagger, so got out. Green Dean got it. Oh, yeah. Again, if you bought this stock this week from that video and you're up 30, 40, what was it, with $2 to almost $3 there, or $2.60? So, yeah, just be careful. Protect profits. I am also not a financial advisor and am here for chat spam purposes only. Yes, Michael, you're my spam artist. All right, let's get back over to earnings here. Let's see here. Let's graph these, see what opportunities. We got Nvidia. Nvidia's actually, moved down now. There's the Bollinger Band. Let's go back to the regular layout here, or my layout. 3 months. All right, so so still above the ascending channel. You can see indecision in the stock here, trying to stay above the 20-day EMA. Again, pivotal point for Nvidia, but you can see the sideways movement, like I was saying, and TSM kind of giving some inclination, before Nvidia and AMD started moving to the side. So you just ask yourself if you're a long-term investor, or but if you bought less than $100 and you're up at 180 and you doubled your money in a couple months. As far as Nvidia, if there is any kind of big pullback on Nvidia, this is the retest, 153. I know it's way down there, but if there's any big market sell-off, anything like that, if you got some patience, I'd set an alert for maybe 155, 160. If Nvidia goes back down there, I'm going to take a look at it myself, but that would be my long-term low. Would potentially be 153 just to retest this prior high here. We had 2 touches from the bottom. And we only had a quick retest here. No serious touch, since then, right? I'm up 400% on calls. TLRY expires. What's your advice? Should I take profit? TLRT, is that the name of the stock? If you look at CoreWeave with the NPI layout, is the trigger yet on? We'll take a look at CoreWeave, but Nvidia, I still like Nvidia. Maria says I'm up 34% on TLRY. Hey, I told y'all Clay, he watched it. Well, we had a meeting and about different topics, and that was his stock, and he got in right. I looked at it, told hey, it looks good. I like the story. Did a video on it. He got in on it as well, and he's still holding it as far as I know. At least as of yesterday when I talked to him. But yeah, TLRY's still looking good. Again, if another legislation news comes out, he said what, a couple weeks? It's been a couple weeks, so I wouldn't be surprised if there was an update on that, and maybe on the second update, if it spikes again, I wouldn't get too greedy. But that's just it's my 2 cents. I see here's Dell. Dell looks good. Dell looks good going in earnings. I mean, EPS is climbing here. Let's see, sales growth rate faltering. But just like Nvidia, look at the growth rate. Good numbers, but just slowing down, right? Just slowing down. Same thing with Dell. Slowing down over the last year here. So if I had to guess, maybe something like Nvidia. Probably pretty lackluster in any kind of real movement, either direction, right? Here's Toronto Dominion. Look at this. Broke out, gave it all away. Ooh, that's why you wait for confirmation, right? I mean, it opened up, and it didn't seem too long. Let's go to the intraday chart here. What's going on here? Yeah, whoop, and then went right back down into the channel. And I was just thinking that stock was looking good too. If you got into it, if you are into it, definitely around 72.25. We're getting close to there. There's got to be some news on this. Is it earnings? Okay, so they had their earnings this morning. That's what it was, not after the bell. So it looks like they've probably already reported here, gapped up, gave it all away. Look at the earnings report. I haven't looked at it directly here, but obviously it doesn't look good for the Bulls, right? Does not look good right now. At least I'm not seeing it. Marvel, look at Marvel coming back here. It's got some serious resistance. This almost looks like a shoulder, head, shoulder. There's my neckline, right? Interesting. I still like it, though. I still like it. Forecasted data. What I do like about Marvel, the other two, Nvidia and Dell, their forecasted data was shrinking over the last, 6 months we're looking at now. This one's growing 18%. Look at the sales growth rate outpacing earnings. That's always a good sign. 63%. Look at the nice big jump in EPS as well. Actually, I like Marvel. You're not buying it at a hot, it doesn't look like a bad dip. Look at value. You're not paying a premium on this position here. Not a bad stock. Here's Dick's. Dick's does not look good. Look at that big upper wick here. You are getting a value on it. But big box retailers, not the most attractive space to get into yet. Maybe see if it pays a dividend. Forecasted data, 5%. Rising earnings per share. Might be a good dip opportunity. See, last time it touched the 40-day. Look what happened, right? Might not be a bad one, but definitely not necessarily space I like too much. Nicely done on Neg. You are a legend. Thank you, Green Dean. Hey, I play Neg to both sides. I want to show you all something pretty cool. I'll show you something pretty cool after this. Firm holdings, overvalued. It's momentum play. Here's the trend line. Let's see what this little guy's doing. Oh, it's nice little pivots off that trend line there. Right on the 20-day EMA too. Approaching that prior high. Hey, I like it. Look at earnings per share, a little turnaround story. It was negative on the forecast of EPS, but look, now in positive territory. Growth rate earnings 27, sales growth rate. Hey, this ain't a bad one. That's it's here. Ulta. Not down day to day. I do like the value rising. Growth rate. No, not good there. Earnings per share. No, I don't like it. Alibaba, they report tomorrow. Overvalued. Growth rate 22. Sales growth rate, doesn't look good. I'll see if there's any kind of optimism or any kind of hype with the Chinese e-commerce giant, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. Snowflake, look at Snowflake there. Big gap up, follow through. I told y'all, software is it. That's seems to be where the thunder's at right now. It's not in the semis at the moment. Dollar General, look at that bottom wick. I like Dollar General. I mean, look at the momentum there. We still got this gap here. I mean, we've done all this work. Why would we not want to fill the gap at this point? Look how far it's done. It looks like a nice little cup, right? Could be a cup, a little handle, just kind of moving to the side here. But my price target is going to be 122. Right now it's 111. I mean, the bulls did all this. I don't see them just giving up now, especially look at this bottom wick here. Big bottom wick too. Nice. Snowflake is on earnings last night. Yes. Yep. It was on earnings last night. I went to Dollar Tree and nothing was $1. It's $1.25 now. Look at CrowdStrike. Again, another software company here. You can see the growth rate, sales growth rate declining. Still, decent number. Actually, not that decent. 4%. I think Dollar Tree or Dollar General had more than that. Oh, no, it was -6. Never mind. I thought it said 6. Forecasted data is not going to get me too excited. But what I do see is I see this level of support here. It's trying to stay above it. But what also I see, if you haven't got into it yet and you're thinking about it, like we're right at the 40-day. We could get rejection here. So I don't want you to start off your trade all frustrated. If you're not in it, wait for some confirmation. Let's at least get above that 40-day. 40's around 443 right now, or 439, couple bucks away. It's a couple $100 stock too. So I mean, that's probably what, 1%. It's fine with me. I'd give up 1% or so for some confirmation. Lee Auto, nope. I don't like anything about this chart. Gappy, moves to the sides, actually lower than it was 6 months ago. Forecasted data, nothing excited. -4, 0. Oof, oof, oof. Going to have to name Dollar Tree, right? Let's see here. I was going to buy Snow, but the base was sketchy and I didn't have a position. Hey, it's all right. It's all right. If the trade looks sketchy, don't do it, right? If you don't feel good about the trade, don't do it. If it works out, it works out. Because I know if you did take the trade, and Snow gap down, because who knows how it would, no one's got a crystal ball. You would have told yourself, well, I should have took the trade, right? It's all right. Move on to the next one. Move on to the next one. Nicely done on neg, huh? Down 60+% in the last 5 days. Well, Tabula, you got to watch the channel. Yeah, it's down 60%. Y'all want to see something? Look at this. I took first place again in the employee contest portfolio. Leaderboard. Hold up. And this is why he's saying I'm a legend. Neg. Say I shorted neg at 117. I sold it at 67. So not only did I help you guys get a neg on the long end, you see 18 to 32 here, made some money. But I even shorted it and made another 67% on neg. And then I shorted this morning SOGP for about a 10% win. So yeah, neg, I played it long and short. And I told everybody when I started shorting, I said it several times, I think over a couple of streams, because obviously if I put a video out long and then shortly later I go short, I want you to know about it, right? But yeah, so neg worked out well. And I would have done better, but I closed out early just so I could get back in the first place. But Alex, he's been good competition. It's been a good friendly game. This has been a fun employee contest this year. Trump about to sign executive order. Ooh. Well, we'll see what the market does, all right? Usually the market acts a little bit. What time is it here? 2:33. Let's go over to the news real quick. All right, so here's a Pure Storage. Again, they had a deal with Meta. Look, up 31% here. Look at the value, 54. It's up $20, right? So it was 60. So it was fairly valued. It wasn't paying too much of a premium. But look at MP here, 0.07, way overvalued, up 3%. Alfred, I only mentioned it because he said about neg, and then who asked? Oh, then someone mentioned that it's down a bunch, right? So I got you guys hopefully on the right side of the bull side, and if anyone shorted it in any shape or fashion, hopefully when I announced that short, hopefully got you on the right side of the trade as well. Ryan says Ava Rice is good. What's Ava Rice? What is Ava Rice? These stocks, all of them good except Nike. Let's look at Nike here. Value way overvalued, poor fundamentals, negative growth rate. That is a stock I am not interested in at all. Nothing about this stock seems good. CoreWeave, let's look at CoreWeave here, right? 104, we value at $15, way overvalued, right? It's okay. It's an AI company. I'm not surprised by that, right? Poor fundamentals, sell rating, right? So if you're looking at CoreWeave, you're buying on a dip, right? You're buying on the dip. Growth rate earnings 20% here. Just be careful. This is going to be a risky dip, right? Risky dip. MP also way overvalued here. We're only valued at 5, trading at 73 compared to some of the other rare earths we talk about. It's the most rich one in valuation. Let's see here. Bill says, not Ryan. Glow. Did you say glowosity? Stop it, Ryan. AI at work. No. But yeah, I just had to pull it up to show you. I forgot what it was. But yeah, 67% on the short, so it was a good one. NASDAQ, S&P 500, and VectorVest Composite, and record territory. All right, look at the major indices. That's probably one thing we should do. Look at some major indices. 0.07 VP value, way better options out there. Yes, there is. Yes, there. That's what I say. I like that article. It's rich. There's good stories about it. If you're in it, hey, stick to something like Star Search, whatever moving averages you're comfortable with. I like exponential, typically 3 and 8, something on like that, or maybe even price in just an 8-day. But either way, and look at this one. I mean, it's still trading at session highs here, $80. Yeah, the stock's just been moving. Look at that. Even since just this live stream, it went from 79, now it's at $80. Yeah, it's moving up. It's got some follow through there. We'll see. I wonder if there's anything back at its past we can judge off of. Nope, it's at a new high. Ain't nothing in sight. Let's graph these. Tons of easy gold plays instead of MP. Well, MP probably does have some gold in its portfolio, but that is not why that stock is rocking and rolling, Michael. That's a rare earth play right there. Apple doesn't need $500 or $500 billion or $500 billion or no $500 million worth of gold. They need other materials. You start every day at 2, Michael? Yes. Not every day. Oh. Which one's the one at noon? Midday market action? That's Monday. Yeah, Monday is midday market action. That's at noon. But most at 2. 2 or noon. 2 or noon. We probably should put the schedule more. But yeah, it's 2 or noon. 2 or noon. Tons of easy gold plays. Yep, I do like that one. Dude, let's clear this out. But this one, I like this stock. It's just, but yeah, I'm not going to chase it. I'm not chasing this one. I want to recommend anyone else to chase it. There's MP. There's a scoop on the 20-day EMA. I like that scoop. I like that scoop. Look at that right there. That is a perfect scoop. 20-day EMA and testing the prior high. I mean, that's a perfect trade setup. That again, if it's this overvalued, forget about valuations. We're trading technicals here, and it keeps doing this. So yeah, I like it. I mean, growth rate earnings was -2. Still at -2. It wasn't negative a lot. Sales growth rate, 84. Yeah, the other errors just see better. But I mean, earnings per share, definitely. See here, AFSC. I'm buying the dip on AI. Not a bad dip to buy. Just depending on which stock. Nike. Let's look further out at Nike. Look at that. That's just a long-term downtrend. I could understand if I want to do some bottom fishing, if Nike's value came in at like $90, $100, yeah, I'd be more attractive here. But Nike investors are trading a premium here. And look at the forecasted data. No, staying away from that one. That's a poopiosity stock, right, John? That's what we call that one, poopiosity. Here's CoreWeave. This is what y'all been waiting for, this little treat. Since you want to talk about some software stocks, you're talking about CoreWeave and buying the dip on AI. What is that? That's a good old-fashioned descending channel, right? So my price target, if you're in CoreWeave, just keep extending this downline, all right? It's probably going to come back up here and retest it at some point. I don't know when it's going to do it, but I am optimistic on CoreWeave when it comes to in general. But if the party's short-lived, you got 2 levels, one coming in critically now and one coming in around the 40-day. So give it, the next couple candlesticks, see what happens. If you're in it, I like to trade, but just know you're in a descending channel. So unless I break up to the upside of that channel, I'm going to take profits when I got them and run, right? Because you're in a descending channel again. Keyword, descending. So, just calling a spade there. All right, everybody. What's the likes at? Don't put the stocks in yet. I know, y'all. Don't put them in yet. Hit the like button. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. And while we do that, I do want to take a look at TLRY real quick. Hit that like button. TLRY is still in the fast lane. Let's take a look at my old UAMY. Hey, Alfredo, what was that other stock? See it? I knew my memory would be bad. What was the Alfredo stock? Take profits at the resistance. Hey, there we are, Alex. I try not to overthink it. I didn't get into trading and investing to make my life harder. That's for sure. A lot of people do for some reason, but I don't want my life any harder than it has to be already. If you're looking at UAMY, ooh, look at that. Nice little bottom wick there. Star search. I'm not going to be in a rush to buy it right now. Just be honest with you. If you're in it, I'm not in a rush to sell it either. Let's see what it's still holding on the star search here. I don't think the bulls made this bottom wick for nothing. So let's see what we got here. Let's scroll down at 3 and 8. Let's see what the values are. Yeah, the value still drops. Still around 260. You're paying a premium for it, but I have a feeling this stock's probably going to be trading at a premium. Just like we're seeing some of those other rare earths. IREN. That's it. Thank you. But I still like it. I mean, compared to MP, look, it's closer to value for sure. Look at the growth rate, sales growth rate, earnings per share. It just looks nicer. It's less parabolic right now, less overstretched. But again, not quite in a rush to buy it. If you got in it when I said were good times, which would have been, most recently, this retest area, I talked about it. This little break here. Obviously came back and retested it, which looked nice. But look, the 20 and 40 days still in your favor, still above the 20. So I wouldn't be in a rush to sell it right now, but just my 2 cents. IREN, that's what we want to talk about. IREN real quick. EV Reynolds, ONDS. Nope, not taking stocks quite yet. Not taking stocks yet. Hit that like button, will, in about 30 seconds. Let's see here. This one looks good. I said this last week. These crypto stocks, moving into the AI space. AI's got a lot more money than crypto money, right? There's a lot more AI money than crypto money. And yeah, it makes good business sense. They already have existing infrastructure. Think about it. They already got the stacks, the GPUs, the energy, it's already put together. They know how to put this equipment together because, mining, Bitcoin, mining Ethereum, mining the others, not a whole lot different as far as infrastructure than AI, hyperscaling technology or hyperscaling infrastructure. So that was the play. You can see what I did the video last week. So yeah, just hit a high today. This is one of them. If you missed the video, there's a couple other ones. Hey, don't chase the high. These are crypto stocks. They're volatile. Usually you get a little bit of a deal here. Let's see real quick. Where is this? It'll break out. This will be my retest here around 21.51. Right now it's at 23.57. If you do want to buy a dip, as long as the market looks good, as long as the trade makes sense, this might be it. As well, if it takes a couple days to get there, look, the 20-day EMA is making its way up there, and that might just be a perfect little trade setup. Oh, I know. I'm getting to it. All right, put your stocks in. Today we're doing 8 stocks, 76 likes. Thank you for everyone who put in a stock symbol. But that actually looks like a good trade setup. So the stocks come in. Again, look for the retest here. I'm not chasing that high today, especially with that upper wick forming. Especially with the upper wick. News. Oh, customer picks. I think these are the old ones. Yep. All right. Well, we've got 8 stocks. No need to keep hitting them in. All right. Let's see here. Oh, those came in quick. Alfredo, what are you talking about? I bought the mining one. All right, George was first. We got SLV here. Rocket Lab. I told you I'll probably be doing a video on Rocket Lab. I need to do that soon. That might be tomorrow's video, actually. We're gonna talk about it today though. SMCI. I saw an article. SMCI might be a good play. Let's see here. PRM. SoFi. All right, that should be more than 8, so you got over on me. You got 11 today. You got 11. All right, we got 15 minutes left, so that works. Value, where we get some value here. BK Technologies. Ooh, there's actually more undervalued. Super Micro. Ooh, but yeah, Super Micro comes with a lot of drama, though, right? A lot of baggage with Super Micro. It's down today. We'll see here. RT's not favorable again. Probably not going to like the chart if I had to guess. Probably not going to chart if I had to guess. Can we put our stocks in now? TTMI. Okay, boring, but AMD question. Okay, boring. Dang, my video lagged. Got in late. Today is earnings on IREN. Okay. Did they already report? Just curious. Let's see here. All of them are up today except Super Micro. So there's broad market enthusiasm. RVs, where are we getting some long-term plays at here? BK, Celestica. That's a sketchy long-term play. Hey, it could work out. I'm not going to lie. Rocket Labs, all that long, the premium's getting baked in, it looks like, 0.21. So just be careful of Rocket Lab. I know they got a lot of good things. Like I said, I've been doing some research on them lately. I like what they have in the works, but they're definitely trading at a premium. RT relative timing. Where's the momentum at? A lot of momentum here. Look at this. RTs. This is 1.8 and higher. A lot of momentum. Look at SoFi just won't stop here. Up another 5%. 5% here. Ooh. Anyone trading IBIT credit spreads and iron condors, I find the premium in this ETF decent for income spreads. I bet high volume options in general is crypto in general because of the volatility. I see that being a good strategy, John. Doing credit spreads and iron condors, a lot of premium to be collected there. The symbol column needs to be expanded. Yes, that's was also driving me a little crazy, right? In honor of college football season getting underway, you should do DraftKings. Actually, you know what? That ain't a bad one. That ain't a bad one at all. Fox, good call on DraftKings. Let's see here. Let's look at the charts. Look at that, Celestica. Oh, man. I'm so glad I've done videos about Celestica. This was just a top VST stock. Some of my videos where I just don't overthink it. I just trust the software. This is why I trust the software. If you are in CLS, I like it. I'm not a seller right now. I'm going to be selling on the optimism. You got to ask yourself, what your goal was. I don't know where you got in, but the stock was, $60 not too long ago. Now it's at $214. Don't be afraid to protect some profits. I'm not saying sell the whole position. You can sell some of it. You can play more with house money, things like that. But it's rocking and rolling. And great forecasted data. Earnings per share still ticking up. And no reason, no concern there. Google is breaking out of a deep cup. Wow. I like Google. I like Google a lot, actually. BKTI, look at the value still ticking up here. Yeah, I'm not going to chase that momentum if you're in it, though. I like it. Even from an investment perspective, the stock's got momentum and the value's got momentum. Forecasted data, not bad on the earnings side. Sales not getting me too excited. EPS just jumped up as well. You can see that with the stock price there. SoFi, again, after breaking out of this ascending channel, just parabolic moves continue. But just be careful. There is that long-term line. Again, that's where trouble usually comes in. You can see it here, right? I like that. That's a nice chart right there. So I'm not going to be a buyer at this line that it's known for rejection, right? Why would I be a buyer at a known line for rejection? The line doesn't look like it's far away at all. Maybe give it another $1 or $2 for some confirmation. A little bit of breakout above this line. Otherwise, wait for another pullback. Have some patience here. Growth rate 40, sales 31, rising earnings. I like the stock. Cannot lie. I like the stock. If it's overvalued, it's trading at a premium. But again, this is not a value play. I'm playing that momentum. PRM, values rising, price is rising. Overvalued now, but the momentum is there. Am I going to chase it? No, I'm not going to chase this one. But just everything looks good. Sales growth rate, earnings rising. RT's even ticking up higher here. That momentum continuing. Let's see if there's anything in the past we can base it off of. This is interesting. All right, there. Is that where the big breakout came? Yeah, it is. Look at that. It hit the cup objective and said, nope, we're just going to keep on rocking. I like it. I mean, but the stock went from $8 to $21. You got to ask yourself where you're happy with your profits. But I like the stock. Here's Futu. Let's see here. Extend it. Look at that. That just plays so nice. You see what I'm talking about? These little lines here? But it's actually expanding out. You can see expanding out like that. So that's going to increase volatility. So if I had to guess, it's probably going to come back and test this line. So you got to ask yourself, is it worth it to you risking for this to come back down and potentially retesting this line like we've seen in the past here, right? So just be careful. Just be careful. But I would be a little bit more bearish in the short term for this one right now. Rocket Lab still in the little no man's land. Stock still on its way. But hey, after this run, it needs a breather for sure. I mean, look at growth rate ticking up. Sales growth rate ticking up. Came right back down. 8%, 36%. Not bad numbers. Earnings per share moving in the right direction. Still negative, but moving in the right direction. And you can see this again. Look at this. Boom. Nice cup here. But this one, not like the last one, but you see this cup here. Boom. There's the cup. Hit the target, right? 2 reasons to pull back, and it found those reasons. The cup target along with this trend line. Still in its way, right? So just be careful with this one. I'm neutral on Rocket Lab right now. I like the stock, but just technicals are neutral. DraftKings, that's picking up momentum. I like it. And I see more and more states, legalizing it. If that's not already all legal now. I know here in North Carolina it's legal. I don't know if there's any states left, really. Growth rate 47, sales 37, rising earnings per share. I like it. It's good. It looks good to me. Here's TGen. No, I see roll over in motion here, right? You see the 40-day? You see it last time just below? And if you're in it, maybe, I don't know where you bought it at, but maybe a little bit more wiggle room. But right now, let's get rid of value so we can see it better. So you see last time it came down and broke above it, right? This time it came down and got instant rejection. So just be careful of this one. I am going to be more bearish on this symbol. Silver and gold, I like. Momentum is still there, still in the moving averages. Again, accumulating a little more at the 20 or 40s. As long as it keeps working, hey, if it does break below those, I wouldn't be accumulating anymore, right? Because now you're in a downtrend. Just look at the chart, but I still like silver. I like assets in general right now. PM, Philip Morris. Looks like we filled the gap here, but just kind of got the rejection as soon as we got close to filling that gap. I'm not really sure. About that. And we are going to discuss that Tabula. That's going to be my last stock I finish out on in about 5 minutes. It's going to be Palantir. Here's SMCI. This was a level of resistance, broke it. Level support, broke it. Now getting rejection at that level of resistance here. SMCI, dead in the water to me. That's my 2 cents. Dead in the water. Here's AEVA. There's that momentum. There's the bottom fishing play right here. That 40 days rejection. I would say if it drops below, this is my confirmation. Confirmation for the bulls above the 40. Confirmation for the bears that this was rejection. Let's, below the 20, especially if we take out this low, which would be 1462. 1462. Don't know what Ritzma means. What does Ritzma mean? What does Ritzma mean? All right. What is NVMI? Oh, Nova. Gotcha. PLTR. Mike to lay off 1% of staff. No, Nike. Not Mikey. Nike, Bill. Not Mike. I don't know who Mike is. But look at this. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. It's flirting with danger here. Look at this. Is this not a danger? I mean, that is a bearish trade setting up. If it wasn't Palantir, just looking at this chart here, I'd be thinking it ready for a short position. That's just, I got no skin in the game. I got nothing to hide here. I don't own Palantir. Never have. Not saying I never will, but just right now, Michael says I'm not laying off anyone. But that's just my two. And this is, again, is, you know, I'm thinking short-term trading perspective here, right? Short-term trading perspective. You got to ask what your objectives with Palantir is. But look, broke it, big bottom wick. Broke it, big bottom wick. Broke it, big bottom wick. But look at the body this time, right? Before we had a big body. Last time we had a little body. This time we ain't got no body, right? The buyers keep coming in to save it. But that saving mentality might be running out soon, you know, unless there's some kind of flunked typing class, obviously. Bill says, go to Trading System Viewer and search all time. It's Ritzma Nitro. Ritzma Nitro. All right, we're going to look at Palantir. Again, I still like Palantir. It's just rich for my blood. It should be traded, got treated, but look at this long-term trend line here, right? Look at this long-term trend line. I'm just going to put this on your radar before it even happens, right? This thing's going to keep moving up in time, right? It's going to keep moving up. And once it gets up about here, which is probably about a month or two, maybe, I don't know, about half a month out. If it breaks this, it might want to retest this again. And if I had to guess, it's probably be enough time to get this back up into the 140s. Maybe the 130s. I don't know. But I got no crystal ball. But right now, if this wasn't Palantir, the chart, this retest from the 20, the breaking of the channel, you know, potentially wanting to retest this. Exactly the kind of chart layout I used in my short position this morning for a little 10% win. And again, I got no skin in the game. You got to ask yourself, you know, what you're trying to do here. And look at RT relative timing now. 1.04. Also flirting with danger here. He is Ryan AI, and he is doing a good job. Hey, I thought Glenn was in love with Apple. I know he's got Apple phone. He used to talk about Apple a lot, but he's kind of gotten away from Apple. I think, for like the last year now? He moved to Palantir. What is the short of Palantir? I'm not saying, I'm sure I said if it wasn't Palantir, I'd be more inclined to short it just by the chart pattern here. But you can see it's showing some real weakness here. Look, little body. Even smaller body. Now today we're getting no body, right? So it's really struggling to stay at that 40-day. Here's the 20. So just be careful if you're in Palantir. You know, again, I don't want you to be a bag holder, emotional. All right, last stock, honorable mention, AMD. It's still in the ascending channel, right? But see how it's moving to the side, right? So I'm going to switch over to TSM. This is what gave, see, look, TSM was the first to break that ascending channel. And it's been moving to the side ever since. So since this is moving to the side, that's kind of why I'm not surprised that Nvidia and AMD are just kind of lackluster right now, right? Not you know, bullish or bearish, right? All right. Yeah, Pennywise is gone today. I wonder where he's at. EV says, great job, Ryan. I'm learning a lot and getting better at reading charts. That's what it's about. The news will just ruin you. It'll ruin you if you're just a news trader. You got to follow the chart, the VectorVest 7 system, the indicators there. It just does such an easy job putting you on the right side of the trade. That's true. Anna Mira's gone. Well, you know, maybe they're enjoying life a little bit. Hopefully they're enjoying life. Michael says, oh man, no TTMI, honorable mention for video lag. What is TTMI? I'm curious. Which one is that? Oh, TTM Technologies. Gotcha. Well, this is, I'll say this before I go, because this was easy. Break trend line. Look at this perfect retest here. This is a perfect retest with, actually, everyone should be watching this one. This is a nice little trade setup. Perfect retest. 20-day retest and on the trend line. Follow through today. I like this trade setup. Who gave it? Michael? Yeah, you guys should thank Michael. This might actually be a good trade setup. If you take it, that is on you. Don't blame me. But as far as the forecasted data, earnings per share, even from an investment perspective here, look, the stock undervalued. You're buying on a good little dip here. Looks like you got some confirmation that the dip could be ending. So Michael, shout out to you. That was a good one for everyone in the group here. All right. Yeah, that's a good trade setup. And anyone that's new to reading charts, I call it, I've never heard anyone else say this. So this is you could say this is a Ryanosity today. I call this an anchor, right? If I break a trend line, I like to see a good anchor. This is a perfect textbook anchor right on the 20-day EMA, right back on that trend line. Follow through today, trading a session high. Again, this is why I call it a little anchor. Perfect anchor, nice format for hopefully a nice little bull run here. And we'll see. I see a lot of rejection, big upper wick. So hopefully, a lot of profit taking was already done. Hopefully we could surpass that. Should we be buying stocks going into Labor Day weekend? I mean, that just depends if you want to enjoy your Labor Day weekend, Tabula. It's a 3-day weekend. Obviously, the world's a crazy place. A lot of things can happen over the weekend. I'll let that answer up to you. But right now, what we got? 1 green light, I think it is. No, 2 green lights now. So, if you do, just make sure it's something that's okay with you. Win rate has definitely improved since joining VectorVest and watching your videos, Ryan. Thanks. Of course, Michael. Of course. Hopefully everyone's win rate, and a lot of it, it ain't me. I know a lot of people on the internet, they'll show you 50 indicators or whatever's a cool trending indicator online these days. Most indicators got to get you in and out of good spots. A decent indicator. It's just a matter of having the discipline to listen to the indicator and a system like VectorVest to point good stocks in your direction. On that note, everybody have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.